speak to you in a bit. Nice. Catch you a bit. Bye.
Okay, I think Techie Tuesdays is now live. Yeah. Okay, I think Techie Tuesdays is now. Okay, we are now live. Let's get straight into this. So, we'll give it a few seconds. We'll let people join. The LinkedIn live event should be on now. And I can see the chat as well this time round, because I'm streaming on YouTube. I can now see the chat on YouTube rather than LinkedIn. So you can ask questions far away and I'll be able to see them. Let's get the link. Okay, we should be live, and yeah, everything's running fine. Right, so welcome to this week's live stream of Techie Tuesdays. Today we're going to be having a deep dive into the Amadey malware. So Amadey is commonly used by threat actors like Lockbit. It's mainly used as sort of like a, not necessarily a packer, but like a dropper for malware. Which I think is quite in tune with Christmas, because when you go onto Malware Bazaar and you want to download Amadey, you don't know what you're going to get, so it feels like it's Christmas. It feels like opening up a present to me. Yeah, so let's have a look on Malware Bazaar. This is currently just on my Windows VM. There's also a VLAN on here as well. And what we'll do tag Amadey. As you can see, they're all just Amadey, and Amadey themselves is simply just a malware dropper that is almost like underground commercial, so anyone can really buy it if you have the cryptocurrency. It's all on the hacking forums. I believe it's created by Russian developers. And you can see some of it's packed with Redline Stealer. I'm not sure if we can find anything with Lockbit, because Lockbit it's great to see how Lockbit works, because they have a lot of behavioral indicators that show up. Got one of the DLLs from Amadey. Okay, let's get just one of these. So I'll show you my policy at the moment. If we were to go into my current scope, which is just here, I'm in my Daniel demo group scope. Got one endpoint here, and my policy is detect with all detection engines on. I'm logging everything into deep visibility, but I don't have data masking or focused file monitoring on. Right, so let's get into this then. Let's choose any of these Amadey samples and download. So SentinelOne isn't going to mitigate these threats straight away, so it's going to just detect it and show me the full visibility of what the threat is doing. I'm going to show a static analysis first, and then we're going to go into a dynamic analysis, and then some remediation tips with rollback as well. So let's open up the file. I need 7-zip installed. Check the time is right. Right, first we're going to drag and drop it into the desktop, and we're going to do password is infected. So if you're going to do some threat testing like this, make sure you're on a private environment that is not connected to anywhere on your enterprise. Otherwise, you'll probably end up destroying something, and you don't want any of your enterprise to be touched by the malware, because this is live malware. These are like potentially almost cyber weapons. So you need to be careful with this. And let's see if SentinelOne picks up statically, and yes, straight away SentinelOne has picked it up with static analysis. Let's have a look at the threat. So it was on-write static AI, and it wasn't to do with the cloud, so it detected it as malicious because it contained abnormal section names, which could be an indication it's created with non-standard development tools. The binary imports functions to raise kernel exceptions, and the binary imports debugger functions. I have a Singularity Marketplace add-on with the virus total, and it allows me just to press the virus total, view and virus total button. So let's press on that, and you can probably see that, yeah. I wonder if we can see people talk about Amadey already. Yeah, so some of the crowdsourced IDS rules, you can see that Amadey has been spotted by Proofpoint. Also Snort, Suricata, and then you can see there's potentially bad traffic as well. A couple sandboxes has detected it as malicious, and you can just see, yeah, and you can see SentinelOne static machine learning has picked it up. So let's have a look at the community. I want to see what the community are talking about. Yeah, so you can see people are already marking it with the Amadey tags. We'll head back into our SentinelOne management console. Let's view threat details. So I currently have an integer analysis plugin, and this just allows me to sandbox it myself, but because I'm in a protected environment, I'm going to show just running it dynamically with SentinelOne only itself, but we'll get into marketplace sort of extensions and integrations in another stream. And yeah, so let's go back onto our VM, and I'm just going to open up the exe, see what happens. Straight away it's been detected as malicious, and I want to know what it's going to do next. So it seems to have dropped another exe called gntu.userid.exe. So Amadey was definitely packing something. I want to see if it's ransomware. It could be an info stealer. It could be like a QOak bot, a quack bot. So before we go back into the management console, I'm going to have a quick look at yeah, another threat has just been detected. Let's have a look on Task Manager, see if anything suspicious is showing up before we head over. And yeah, you can see that the background process is running. There seems to be something completely blank running as well, and it's dropped. Yeah, it dropped 2 of the GNT UUD 32-bit processors. Ooh, what's this? Problem starting Windows, uses Windows 10. Maybe the malware developers weren't 100% when they were coding this, because I don't know if it's done anything malicious. So let's get straight into the dynamic threat. So here we go. Brilliant. So yes, here's a dynamic threat. So it's actually detected by the SentinelOne cloud. So this has been seen before. The file hash has been detected. And you can see, let's get into threat details. Let's go into the threat indicators. Wow, yeah, so it was an info stealer this time. I wonder if this will develop into something more, well, obviously malicious, but currently it was an info stealer. It doesn't look like it was redline just off the top of my head. It looks maybe like raccoon stealer. I haven't looked into raccoon stealer myself, but I know it acts quite differently to redline. As you can see, it tried to access Chromium Edge sensitive information. Let's have a look on Explore. Wow, this is, yeah, these malware developers weren't messing about. Command and control, I'm guessing there'll be some network indicators here, maybe? This is the SentinelOne storyline system. This allows you to basically look through all of the actions that the process has done, whether that's creating sub-processes, editing registry, network actions. So yeah, here's the command and control server that they're using. Let's do a whois on this. Let's see what host provider they're using. So using RIPE network coordination. I haven't heard of them myself. Yeah, so that's not good. We're going to have to mitigate this threat. They don't seem to be doing any sort of ransomware on here. They could have done process hollowing to. I feel like I'm reviewing this malware. They could have done process hollowing to make it a bit more stealthy, but all it's really done is just sit there and try to steal Chrome information. So whoever has bought Amadey for them dropping their malware obviously hadn't had the good malware anyway, and Amadey has just done all the work for them. So what we're going to do, we're going to mitigate these threats. I'm going to select all of them instead of doing it one by one. To select all of them, you simply group by hash on the top here, and it will put all of the same processes and files into the same threat if it's by the same hash. And you can see there's 4 unmitigated threats. I'm going to click next to it, which will select all 4 of them. And then you want to go to Threat Actions, Mitigation Action. I'm going to do Rollback, Markers Resolved, True Positive. So I'm going to kill the current running processes. I'm going to quarantine the originating file path. I'm going to remediate all of the changes done by the threat. And I'm going to roll it back to the last safe state using the Windows Volume Shadow Copy service, which runs every 4 hours. And I'm going to mark it as a True Positive. And we'll press Apply. And already you can see the endpoint is disinfected pretty much. It says health status healthy, and already the threats have been resolved. I wonder if we'll see threats disappearing on Task Manager. Yep, and then all these threats have been mitigated. Let's restart it. Yep, and the background processes are gone. So SentinelOne has successfully mitigated these threats. That wasn't a very impressive piece of malware, I've got to say. But I suppose if you weren't in an enterprise environment and you had some legacy AV, that would slip straight through if it was polymorphic. However, it was not polymorphic, and the file hash was already detected. Probably because it was submitted to Malwarebazaar. Yeah, so I think we'll leave it there. That was quite an interesting sort of dive into Amadey. Amadey itself was just a dropper in this case, and anyone can really purchase it. However, the malware that was added onto it was either Raccoon Stealer. I don't think it was Redline. Redline is very basic, and it doesn't necessarily do anything super stealthy. However, this wasn't very stealthy either, but it acted very differently to Redline. So yeah. If you enjoyed this Techie Tuesdays, give it a like. If you have any questions, just send them straight to me. if you'd like to see SentinelOne yourself, you can contact me, and you can get a one-to-one demo. And if you're interested in sort of us managing SentinelOne for you, we do a managed threat detection, where we can basically manage certain aspects of SentinelOne, the management console, for us, and we can manage parts of it for you, and you can see either you can see certain parts of it, you can monitor certain parts, or if you want to like only respond to threats or see vulnerable applications, you can do that as well. So thank you for watching, guys. I'll catch you next week.